Florence is powerful, slow, and relentless.
The coastal Carolinas are battered tonight after being slammed by Hurricane Florence. The storm made landfall early this morning.
It's devastating. My roof is completely gone.
Fierce winds left a trail of badly damaged homes and businesses across North and South Carolina. And while the storm is no longer a hurricane, rain continues to fall, causing widespread flooding, turning neighborhood streets into rivers.
Well, what was Hurricane Florence is now a tropical storm tonight, but the storm's damaging effects are still being felt.
Yeah, and it's not without heartbreaking loss. There are at least 4 storm-related deaths so far, including a mother and her baby who were killed when a tree fell on their home in Wilmington, North Carolina. You're looking at an emotional moment caught on camera, showing firefighters kneeling and praying outside the family's home when they realized the 2 had passed. According to officials, the father survived and was taken to a local hospital with leg injuries. Now, in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Tropical Storm Florence continues to bring strong wind and a lot of rain.
Fox 5's Doug Evans has been in Myrtle Beach for several days now. And Doug, you've seen the conditions there go from bad to worse.
That's absolutely correct, Sinead. Right now, the remnants of Tropical Storm Florence are right over the top of the Myrtle Beach area. The very center of what is left of Florence is over us right now. You're taking a live look right now on Ocean Boulevard from our Fox 5 storm chaser. We've got a light rain that is falling right now. It had been heavy all day long, and the wind is starting to diminish now also. I just checked our wind speeds. Winds here right at our location clocked at about 32 miles an hour. They were up into the 50s just about 2 hours ago. So we're seeing this storm now diminish over the top of Myrtle Beach. It still remains a threat, though, and it will remain a threat for the next 24 to 48 hours. That threat is flooding. And we're expecting an additional 2 to 3 inches of rain tonight. That camera's just not cutting it for me. I'm gonna switch back to this one. Got a little rain on that top camera here on the Fox 5 Storm Chaser because we're just driving into it right now. Anyway, additional rainfall tonight, additional rainfall on Saturday and Sunday. They are very concerned about flooding here in the inland areas especially, and so they're asking everyone to please just stay on guard just for a couple more days. Just let it all ride out. So Tropical Storm Florence will be over the top of South Carolina for the next 24 hours or so, and then it is expected to move out. We've shot all kinds of video today showing all kinds of damage, and it has been, for the most part, not significant, and it has been, you know, we saw not serious structural damage. We saw some awnings that were down and some things like that. There was one house here in the Myrtle Beach area that had some significant damage to the roof. Now, we talked to one guy who came up to rescue people if need be, all the way from Monroe, Louisiana. Let's hear from him.
It's so unique in itself, you know, with all that goes on in the world anymore. People are just they have opinions, and then there's all this stuff, you know, with racism and all that. That all disappears whenever it's humanity, man, and it's people reaching out to help each other, and it's just raw passion and love and appreciation, and it's just doing the hands and feet the work of God, man. It's good stuff.
Brandon Bell with Operation Never Stop out of Monroe, Louisiana in the Carolinas tonight. A lot of these guys are here and have made their way all the way up into North Carolina and are taking an active part in the rescue of people there that have been stranded in the rising floodwaters there. So those are the latest conditions from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We expect that flooding will be a concern for the next 24 to 48 hours. There is a flash flood warning in effect for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. In fact, we've got some deep water right there in front of the Fox 5 Storm Chaser as we go through it right now on Ocean Boulevard. So also a riptide warning in effect for the beaches here. So it's going to be a long, long weekend for folks. Back to you.
All right, Doug. Well, we'll continue to check in with you through the weekend to continue to get the status on everything. Let's take a look now at Jacksonville, North Carolina. It has been slammed with heavy winds and rain. The winds pushed water inland for miles, destroying buildings in its path. Tens of thousands of people are without power. Fox's Marina Morocco has more.
Scenes like this one here in Jacksonville, North Carolina are probably likely throughout the state, and even though Hurricane Florence came on land as a Category 1, it still caused destruction along its path. And you can see this gas station here clearly without power at this hour, although across the street there's power, and blocks are like this throughout this entire town. But you can see the destruction up above on the ground. There's debris everywhere, trees on the ground, power lines down, and at this point there is still a curfew that is in effect until Sunday morning, but there are still cars that continue to traverse these major thoroughfares, along with, of course, first responders and utility companies that are trying to restore power in this area. Now, one interesting thing about Onslow County, they started that mandatory evacuation well early into this week to try and get everybody out. There is not a single building in this county that could withstand a major hurricane. That's a Category 3, 4, and 5. Not one building here, and that is why they had to get everybody out of town, and they did so for the most part. We've heard no reports of injuries, at least here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Earlier today, there was a hotel that was evacuated after the roof caved in. 70 people got out, not a single person injured, which is incredible. But again, no building in this county that could withstand a major hurricane. They got everybody out, and now shelters tonight are reopening for folks who are trying to get back to assess the damage. But again, there is a curfew that remains into effect well into the weekend. In Jacksonville, North Carolina, Marina Morocco, Fox News.
Marina, thank you. Now, people here in Georgia are ready to help coastal residents who are affected by the hurricane.
Yeah, this is the scene at Cumberland Mall in Atlanta. You can see the utility trucks are staged there. They're ready to move wherever they're needed. Trucks also staged at Gwinnett Place Mall and Perimeter Mall.
Now, in Tucker, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is working to fill 2,500 boxes of food to send to the coast. They sent 2 trucks of food and water out yesterday.
And in Peachtree City, the police department working with the community to fill a trailer with supplies for victims of Hurricane Florence. They're collecting water, diapers, and cleaning supplies.
Well, Fox 5 has teamed up with Publix and the American Red Cross for the Care Force relief effort for Hurricane Florence. You can make a donation at any Metro Atlanta Publix. All of the donations will go directly to the American Red Cross in support of Hurricane Florence relief efforts.